More and more often, due to the density of traffic, cars are condemned to immobility, with the final result that the interior of the vehicle becomes a kind of branch office of our home's living room, in which we listen to music or make telephone calls. It's no wonder then that the quality of the sound system should take on an importance equal to, or more than that, of the engine itself. Our society is characterized by the fact that every one of us spends at least 1 hour of each day of our life in a vehicle. Our objective is to allow each of us to spend that hour in as pleasant a way as possible. Obviously, we can't watch television or get engrossed in some television show while we're driving, but our ears can always be open. So it's essential to have really high quality sound, but at a volume that doesn't prejudice our ability to attend to what's going on outside. We have begun working with the problem of sound reproduction using our diopsis. In the future, we would like to transform the interior of vehicles into a real communications centre in which a person can carry on conversations with the rest of the world. For example, maintaining telephone calls of the highest quality with an optimal living voice system. Nowadays, to have the best quality high-fidelity sound system, you have to go to Bose, Bang & Olufsen or similar companies. So the final cost to the customer is in the region of 3,000 to 7,000 euros. Really, this ought to be radically reduced, and this is doable making a component, which in fact we've done, which doesn't cost much, with a starting price which is relatively high, let's say around $15. This will end up in a few years' time at about $5. We could say that our ambition is most probably to target the so-called aftermarket, since this is the market that responds most immediately. Later there'll be the pre-installed market, so-called OEM market. While the aftermarket responds in the space of a year and a half, the OEM market needs far longer to get going, in the region of 3 to 5 years. What we're doing starts from the consideration of the physical phenomena that arise inside a vehicle with respect to the audio signals, which reflect in a very complex pattern off the windows and other parts of the interior of a car. To translate these types of physical phenomena into equations, vast numbers of calculations are required in working this out. That's to say, the required quantities of calculations which we have to develop in order to compensate for these undesirable acoustic phenomena which we find in the interior of a vehicle. And so, from this one can deduce the kind of capacity our device has to have, which will allow for the compensation of undesirable acoustic effects and the obtaining of the best quality of sound possible. We have a lot of glass parts which, along with the other smooth and rigid surfaces, produce a huge number of reflections. Practically speaking, the sound starts to, as it were, gyrate around the interior, continuously reproducing the same signal many times. Unfortunately, the effect produced on the ears of the listener is that of the sound signal repeated and attenuated. This produces what is referred to in English as a kind of sound jam, which is exactly the kind of irritating phenomena we notice in vehicle interiors. The solution to this problem that we have adopted is to study these phenomena so that we can individuate the algorithms which will allow for their compensation. These algorithms are of a numerical type, and so they require vast numbers of calculations. We're talking in terms of billions of mathematical operations per second, a calculation capacity which is, to say the least, extremely high.